Hello, my name is Rez, and I'm a professional game programmer, and I do electrical engineering as a hobby. We're on day 21 of our Advent calendar, and I'm not actually sure what we're going to get here. My best guess is that we're going to start getting, 'cause we've got 21, 22, 23, they're all about the same size. My guess is we're going to start getting whatever these LEDs are. We've got this going on down here. We've got one already, so I think we're going to need a couple more of these. That's my best guess as to what we've got. So let's see what we have in 21. We have two more of these. All right, so we're going to need a bunch of these, probably because of how they hang down and how they need to be positioned. So we've got two more of these little cables. Today we have a 2-channel light control. Okay, so we're using our other one. This resistor, which screwed me up last time, it got hooked up like this before. We're going back to how it was originally hooked up, and now, we just have exactly duplicate circuits here. And we have this light, which I think is meant to control both of these guys, to control going left or right. That seems like what we're doing here. Two more double cables. Transistors can now be used. Send cables. Yeah, so these are going to be probably, while it's hooked up here like this, these are probably going to be extended out looking down. That's likely what's going to happen here. So we have this control thing, control it with the directed flashlight. All right, this one's going to be an interesting physical challenge, I guess. I don't know that this works exactly. I'll probably stick them out of the board just to make life a little easier for me. I don't think that this light's going to be useful for us. I'm not sure that I'm even going to bother hooking it up. Because again, we're going back to that anglerfish design that we had before that just is not useful. It'll be useful once we actually get everything hooked up, but it's not useful for the experimentation purposes. So I'll just use the light on my phone to make this work. So instead of going here, this guy now needs to go up here. That should get us back to about where we were before. Okay, I have this hooked up, and I've removed the light, the little anglerfish thing going on, because it's not going to help us overly for this experiment. What I have instead is I just have these sticking up directly, so they'll hit my overhead light. If I turn this on, I would expect nothing to happen, which is correct. Nothing happened when I just turned it on. So they're both getting light, which means nothing's going to happen. If I cover this one up on my right, the left wheel is going to go. This bottom one, which is the left wheel, that's going to go. You can hopefully see that going. If I cover the other one, then the other wheel goes. If I cover them both, they both go. So that's the idea behind this. Just covering up one of these things changes the direction that it goes in. It makes one wheel go, or the other wheel go, or both wheels go. And that is going to form the basis for how this is going to work. Now, I can't really let it run around. It's just going to move and maybe slightly turn based on shadows as it hits the camera and everything. The camera shadow covers it, which is the problem we were having yesterday. But as you can see, once this robot chassis is built, it's going to be covered up, and for any kind of light censoring, you have to have something like that, right? There's all this light everywhere. The first robot I ever built had that issue. I actually brought that robot to GDC, the Game Developers Conference. There's a talk, if you can find it somewhere on YouTube, and maybe I'll link it in the description. But this little talk has my little robot running around, and I just talk about how it's cool to build a robot, and maybe you should do that, and it helps with game AI, those types of things. The problem with that poor robot was in my office, he was fine, but he used infrared signals and things, and there was so much going on in that room that he just went straight. So I actually had one of the conference associates kind of babysit him, and it was tricky. If you watch, I'm only part of the talk. I'm only a small part of it. But if you watch, if it ever pans to me, I don't know if it does during everyone else's talk, you might see me looking down, like fiddling with something behind, under the table, and that's me desperately trying to get the robot to work. It was just breaking, so I actually just shorted the sensory circuitry. That's some behind the scenes stuff. So you have to be careful about that. I'd made no accommodations for that kind of stuff. It just happily went and did its thing. All right, I'm excited. We'll see what happens tomorrow.